Hi, America. Bonjour. Hi, Canada. It's Hugh Hewitt inside the ReliefFactor.com studio inside the Beltway on Friday, August the 21st in the year of the plague 2020. Joe Biden gave a very good speech, and it will play a lot of it in the course of the show today. He crushed expectations, and I'm glad he did it now rather than at the first debate. If you were really sneaky, strategic, you would add a couple of halts mixed in there and introduced even more doubt and then crushed it at the debates. But he still got to come through with a half dozen tough interviews and 3 debates. But, okay, he performed last night. He reassured people at least for an hour about his energy and acuity. But the rhetoric is terrible. And before I go there, though, I want to start on an upbeat note. As we enter the end of the third week with 1 week left of our Food for the Poor drive, along with my colleagues Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager and Sebastian Gorka, Larry Elder, the audience for the Salem syndicated shows has contributed $500,000 to Food for the Poor. It's really remarkable. I'd like to double that in the last week. And to inspire you, we went out and talked to Sarah, who is 16 years old, about what she has done for Food for the Poor, just to maybe lay a challenge down for you. Here's Sarah.
I just wanted to say I really admire your work with Food for the Poor each year. And I'm 16 years old. I live at home, so I don't really make a whole lot of money. But I have an envelope that I keep on my nightstand, and each time I do get some money, I put a little bit away throughout the year, maybe like $1 or $2, and it's for Food for the Poor. And so this year I saved up $80 to give, and I'm not saying any of this to brag. I just wanted to encourage your listeners who probably make more money than I do, and so if you can just spare a little bit, that would be good. Bye.
Bye. Look, please be a Sarah, and whatever you can afford. Not asking you for a lot. The widow's mite will be for some of you. For others, you can write a check for $100,000. Whatever you'd like to do, you can do it at HughHewitt.com. Click on the emergency food relief banner. You can also call 855-359-4673. 855-359-4673. All weekend long, you can do that, and I thank you for it. Well, let's get to Vice President Biden. First thing he said was about the virus. Cut number 13.
Believing the job is all about him, never about you. Is that the American you want for you, your family, your children? I see a different American, one that's generous and strong, selfless and humble. It's an America we can rebuild together. As president, the first step I will take will be to get control of the virus that has ruined so many lives. Because I understand something this president hasn't from the beginning. We will never get our economy back on track. We will never get our kids safely back in schools. We'll never have our lives back until we deal with this virus. The tragedy of where we are today is it didn't have to be this bad. Just look around. It's not this bad in Canada or Europe or Japan or almost anywhere else in the world. And the president keeps telling us the virus is going to disappear. He keeps waiting for a miracle. Well, I have news for him. No miracle is coming. We lead the world in confirmed cases. We lead the world in deaths. Our economy is in tatters, with Black, Latino, Asian American, Native American communities bearing the brunt of it. And after all this time, the president still does not have a plan. Well, I do. If I'm your president, on day one, we'll implement the national strategy I've been laying out since March. We'll develop and deploy rapid tests with results available immediately. We'll make the medical supplies and protective equipment that our country needs. And we'll make them here in America, so we will never again be at the mercy of China or other foreign countries in order to protect our own people. We'll make sure our schools have the resources they need to be open, safe, and effective. We'll put politics aside. We'll take the muzzle off our experts so the public gets the information they need and deserve. Honest, unvarnished truth. They can handle it.
All right, so that's his pitch. And I want you to think about that. Everything he said he's going to be doing has already been done. Everything he said. Because we test more, we have more cases, and everybody understands. I don't think anyone believes what he said. The good news for Joe Biden is he didn't stumble when he said it. The good news is he was competent in the delivery, but I don't think the message is very persuasive. And by the way, we don't have an economic shambles. We have pockets of great unemployment. But I like what Larry Kudlow said yesterday on the White House lawn in counterpoint to Joe Biden, cut number 10.
Well, I just say that the economy is right now in a very strong rebound, which in my view is a self-sustaining recovery, even with the uncertainties about the virus, which are always present. I understand that. Jobs have been rising. We've created 9 million jobs in the last 3 months. That's one point. We are in a housing boom, not a recovery, a boom. Housing, home builder sentiment is the highest in 22 years. Housing permits and starts are above the pre-pandemic level. Retail sales are above the February level. And what's interesting to me in production and manufacturing, every single one of those key indicators are V shapes, every one. And I think people should acknowledge that. If you look at it, the president, we did a bunch of charts for the president on Monday in his presser, and he put them up on the board for everybody to see. I'm not making this stuff up. These are the government statistics. So I think you've got a collapse of inventories in the second quarter, $350 billion drop. It's really unprecedented. Now you've got big gains in housing and car sales and consumers. You saw the numbers out of Lowe's and Home Depot and so forth. That shows you. So in order to meet the rising demand, they're going to have to rebuild inventories, which means more manufacturing, more construction, more jobs. So to me, it's a classic. So I will acknowledge always the virus threat. Fortunately now, the new cases are off about 35% from their late July highs. And fortunately, the fatalities are leveling off and starting to come down. No one can be sure. Putting that aside, even the breakout in the hot spots in late June and most of July really didn't restrain this recovery very much. I think you see it in some areas, but it was fairly minor. I was pleasantly surprised because I'm always worried about this. So no, I think the stock market is correctly portraying not only a V-shaped recovery, but the stock market is seeing through the virus to the other side.
What I love about Larry, very calm, as opposed to Joe Biden's hyperbole last night. And I hope that at the RNC, everyone focuses on the V-shaped recovery. And the truth of the matter is we don't know what other countries have done. Some have done better than we have. Others have been far worse because we do the most testing. And I don't think the president can say this enough times. We have the most cases because we have already tested the most. And everything Joe Biden said has already been done. We can't make governors better at their job. And we can't stop governors from imposing shutdowns for political reasons. I saw a story yesterday in the Washington Free Beacon. The reporting is that Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan is holding back the Big Ten from holding a mini season in the fall. Michigan, they need one more team. They got 6 teams to agree to play: Ohio State, Nebraska, Penn State. And Whitmer vetoed Michigan from playing and bollocks up the whole thing. What is that except a political decision to destroy fun for people in the fall? That's the Democratic agenda. Make you miserable and then tell you it's the Republicans' fault. Or it's the fault of the Republicans not handling the virus. Put aside Andrew Cuomo and the nursing homes. Put aside Bill de Blasio not taking steps in New York. Put aside Whitmer. Put aside Portland, Seattle, Chicago, all this different stuff. I'll play you more Joe Biden. It is well-delivered tissue of half-truths. And he said, you have my word on it? I will never lie to you. Honest to goodness, you can't believe him. Although competently delivered, now, as Michael Goodwin in the Post points out, he can't retreat to the basement. Now he has to sit down and do some interviews, one would think. Stay tuned. I'll be right back on the Friday edition of the Hugh Hewitt Show.